All right. So, yeah, fussing around with the computer was not my finest moment. I have completely run out of print money for this semester, and typically my laptop is a lot more cooperative, to say the least. I will say, I mean, right here I do look a little uncomfortable, but I will say I felt a lot more comfortable this time around than I did last time. Um, yeah, here we go. Here I start looking more comfortable and fitting into that F sharp, though, in C major. That's definitely correct. I'm wondering if I need to project more. I can't hear the computer, but I think maybe I could use my hands more to like motion the bow movement that I want, or even hop in on the scale to like show more of the bow motion, like the bow stroke that I want. Um, I am looking around the room a lot, so I think I forget. I think in conducting, we're told that we should look at at least everybody in the room at least once per rehearsal. So I think I'm doing a good job of that. I liked how I started trying to transition before they reached to the end of the scale as an ensemble, even though the computer was being a little fussy. Uh, yeah, here I'm going. What are they doing with that bowing? Because there's a tie at least written in my score. I probably could have just said, "Hey guys, that's tied," and then moved on to the next playthrough. Have them just play it again without over explaining it. I'm talking a while right there. And the bowing still wasn't quite right. I don't know if I should have like had them do it again after that. But by the end of the run through of that section, they were all pretty much doing the bowing. It was just right there in the beginning. So I don't know if I should have made them do that again. So last time you mentioned that it might be like a facility thing, which is why they're not playing in tune. So I wanted to cover that first thing with the cellos and the violas, was to make sure of the hand shape for their left hands, because I'm noticing that in my kids and JST as well, that it's, if they're not playing in tune, their fingers aren't quite reaching where they're supposed to be, and it's because of how they're holding the instrument. So I wanted to make sure I touched that. And the intonation wasn't really a huge problem on this playthrough, and I did catch myself playing a lot more or talking a lot more about phrasing and how I wanted the line to be shaped and like which parts should be brought out where. But I don't think that was necessarily straying from my goal, because just the sheer repetition would be helpful. This was just so they could focus on the left hand with the pits and not have to worry about what the bow is doing, while the rest of the ensemble could also be doing something, and it didn't work, which was a little frustrating. But I wonder if I should have modeled that right there. I was talking about the shape of the first violin, the bum, ba-yum, bum, bum, the shape that I wanted. I'm wondering if I should have grabbed my violin there. But I feel like I also waste a lot of time grabbing a violin, putting it back down. I do look so much more confident than I did last time. I think I move around a lot when I'm conducting, and so that's something that I still need to work on. Here I'm talking about legato bows, I think. I need to get my eyes out of the score when I give a cue. That's another conducting thing. But I think it's also relevant to when I'm teaching. And I let myself get a little distracted by the first violins there. I think I should have kept my attention on the cellos and violas to get the bow stroke that I wanted, but I had just mentioned to the first violins the phrasing of the so I let myself get distracted by that because it wasn't quite what I wanted yet. I missed whatever I just said here because I was playing with the piano. I'm wondering if I should have picked a section that was more applicable to the rest of the section. Okay, I'm kind of proud of myself for being able to keep talking while I'm getting distracted by my computer not working. And so I was just trying to have half a mind of like trying to get my point across. So that way I was still, instead of wasting the time standing there pressing at my computer, and I actually remembered to like use my violin to model at some point, so I'm proud of that. I'm noticing the thing with the whole bows because I tend to use the entire bow for every single bow stroke. So I think that was interesting how I was trying to model saying, don't use your entire bow, and I was still kind of using the entire bow. Oops. Oh, is that when I'm talking about it? It's hard not hearing it. Jeez. And here I go back to tapping. So I think at some point I realized that it's going to take just as long to go back as it did going from the score to the lesson plan and back again, or whichever way it was. So I'm still trying to talk. Oh boy. I appreciate that everybody was being patient. I really do need to work on standing equally on both feet and not rocking between them. I'm moving so much. That's not a bad thing in a classroom, but it might be a little difficult for kids to watch. Like I'm thinking in terms of conducting students. How much I'm moving might be difficult to follow the beat because I am moving and then the baton is moving, but the baton isn't just moving in the pattern, it's also moving from the pattern and then from me moving, and so that's on top of it. So that might be hard to follow for kids. That's what I mean when I say I'm moving too much. I think I also could have done a better job of moving around the classroom. I kind of stayed in one spot, one area the entire time, even though I was rocking back and forth. I was tempted to grab the cello, probably from Sam, and model what I wanted on the cello as well. with the bow stroke. Just so it would be on the same instrument and in the same register, and I've seen my teachers in middle school and high school do that. They would grab an instrument from whichever section they were trying to get to do what they wanted, whatever musical thing they wanted. They would grab an instrument, or if, like, my teacher, Mr. Levy, he would get really annoyed trying to model something for the violins on a violin, because he was not a violinist, so he'd grab a cello and model it on a cello. All right, and that's the end of the video.